guys, Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, and I'm going to break down a basic concept for improvising guitar solos. It's kind of can be intimidating for a beginner out there, but really what improvising is taking concepts and your vocabulary that you already know and then improvising the actual vocabulary. So it doesn't just come out of thin air. You got to learn little devices to then throw out in the moment in improvisation. So I have actually a really helpful free course. It's pentatonic scale exercises, totally free at martymusic.com. I have a link for it in the description below. You won't regret it. It's all the stuff that helped me as I was learning how to solo on guitar, and it's totally free. So check it out down there. Here we go. I'm going to show you just a couple of devices that you can work on. And we're just going to take the basic minor pentatonic scale to start with, but this will translate to fancier scales and other positions of the scale. But we're going to take the classic A minor pentatonic scale. I was using a 12-bar blues in the key of A. So you got to have the right key for the scale key. So if I'm playing blues in A, I'm using the A minor pentatonic. And so that's this basic scale, where the root is on the 5th fret E string, which is an A note. And hopefully you already know this, but if you don't, that's totally fine. I'm going to break it down right now. So it'd be 5th fret to 8th fret on the E string. And then the next 3 strings are just the whole step. So 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8 on the B string, and then 5, 8 on the high E. So there's little patterns that you can practice with the pentatonic scale, like that free course I have, but then also just kind of like signature licks, basically, little phrases that can help you build a vocabulary. Those two things right away will get you improvising. One thing that you need to do is just practice ascending and descending the scale. So going up the scale, going down the scale. That's not really improvising, but you got to get that going to really get anywhere with it. So you want to practice. Just up and down that scale. I used to practice that, not plugged in, not even paying attention to what I was doing, but just going up and down all the time. Where I was hanging out with friends, I was sitting on the couch, I'd go up, just ascending, descending that scale over and over. It'll get that muscle memory going. So I think it's kind of good to not have a starting point or ending point with it. So I'm just going up and back in rhythm. That'll really help to just get it going, get you started. Now, if I have this loop, you can type in a jam track on YouTube. Backing tracks are everywhere. And you can do it over a track to give you a perspective of it. Now I'm playing that kind of fast for a beginner. You can go, you can break it down super slow. You can still have a fast track, but you can actually do it this way if you're still learning the scale. Twice as fast. Twice as fast again. So that's the first thing. Right away, you want to be able to do that. Now, another great thing to do from there is, and it starts to sound like a lick without even learning some of those like little essential licks that I was talking about, without even teaching you a lick yet, if you just took part of that ascending or descending pentatonic and you just, let's say for right now, first example, repeat 3 notes of it and repeat it over and over, you now have a lick. Check it out. If I started on the 7th fret G string and descended, went down pitch-wise. So I did 7, 5 on the G, 7 on the D. If I just repeat that, so in other words, I took the ascending, descending exercise, and now I'm just going to repeat 3 notes of it. It sounds like a lick. Check it out. And I just resolved it. Here's another 3 notes. Another 3 notes from that. So that was 3 different licks right there, just repeating something. When you repeat that, it creates, our ear hears it and gets familiar with it. And so you're creating what I call motif, a little repeating idea that our ear is grabbing onto. Check this out. If I took that, a 3-note pattern, or just 3-note repeating, but then also added the ascending and descending, that's 2 devices. And now I am improvising. So I've got the ascending, descending. And then repeating 3 notes of it. So if I just did something like this. I'm getting somewhere with it. And this is, really more for beginners right now. But you can see where, in 10 minutes, I've kind of given you a concept to get you going. Now, I also have other free courses that can help you with this, like Essential Licks. They're a little more intermediate, the licks. But watch, if I just I won't really get too instructional with the licks, but here's 2 licks. So now you'd have the ascending, descending concept, the repeating 3 notes concept, and then let's say 2 or 3 licks. You now have 5 different concepts that then you are improvising. So one concept is just taking the top 2 strings here, so the 5th fret B, 5th fret high E, and doing. So I'm just sliding from a half step below up to it. So that's a new concept. So you've got ascending, descending, 3-note repeating pattern, and now 1 lick. Now it would be like this. Here's the new idea. So you can, and with each lick that you learn, so here's another lick. So on the G string, I'm going 7, 5, 7, then 5 on the B string, but then hopping over to 5 on the G, and then ending on the 7th of the D. So that's a lick or a phrase. I can repeat the lick or the phrase to create a motif, but then I can also ascend the scale into the lick or descend the scale out of the lick. So the lick. Well, after I've finished the lick, I can then descend or ascend that scale. Or ascend into the lick. Or I can now have 2 licks. And so hopefully you get the concept there that improvising doesn't come out of thin air. It comes from little devices that you learn, and then you are improvising from that vocabulary that you're developing. So that's only the very beginning, and we already had something going there. There's so many more, and I would really recommend for you to check out that free course on pentatonic exercises, because there's patterns that can help you create licks. So check this out. If I descended the scale here like that, here's an example that's from that free course. I can go down 4 notes from the 8th fret high E. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then I can create a pattern by then going down 4 from the 5th fret high E. 1, 2, 3, 4. You put them together, it sounds like this. If I kept going with that pattern, right, you'll get licks out of it. So if I just did 5 notes of that pattern, it's a lick, which was from the pattern. But instead I went. So forth and so on. So start working on those ideas, and you'll really, I remember learning it this way with some good guitar teachers and friends. And when I would get little things like that, it was so exciting. It was always like this amazing breakthrough. And this might sound weird, but one of the fun parts of being a beginner is the breakthroughs happen a lot quicker. As you get better at guitar, the breakthroughs plateau, and it takes longer to go from, in fact, I'm on a 10-year plateau right now myself. But when you're first learning, you can have multiple breakthroughs a day. I remember taking that 7th fret G string and just kind of, not even on purpose, like starting to bend it a little bit, and I had a little lick, and I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then another one I had was I was going for that 5th fret G string, and I accidentally hit the B string with it. And I was like, wait a minute, that's something. Then I learned I could do it a whole step up too. I could hit the B string, G, the 5th fret G and B string. All right, hope you had fun. That's enough for one video lesson, but really think about those concepts, because that's how you can get going with your solos, and then you can build a little foundation, and then it's fun because you can just then add tiny little new licks, new positions of the scale. There's so much you can do, but if you just get that little foundation going, you can start playing solos. Don't forget that free course. I hope you have fun. Good luck. See you later.